Hey Greg, welcome to the Community for Living golf event. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. Then we'll go ahead and put you back in your address position and we'll take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your address position, let's first of all take a look at your setup. Your spine is straight and on a tilt. Let's just change the thickness of that line. Your legs come down into unlocked position. Your arms are held sort of a little bit out in front of you and the club works out to the ball. So your angles in your address position aren't too bad. Ideally what we would do here is we would sort of push your tail out and up, push your sternum out, up and forward a bit, and ultimately what that's going to do, it's going to just sort of increase the angle to your spine. Then from there you can keep your legs unlocked, and then from there you can let your arms hang down a little bit better and let the golf club work out to the ball. So we're sort of taking you from this tall red position whereby your spine is a little too vertical and your arms are creating a little bit too much of a straight line with the club. So we want to increase the angle relationship between the arms and the golf club. We want to increase the angle for sure to your spine, and that would have you sort of into your golf ball a little bit better. Okay. From there, we can go ahead and take a look at your alignment. We can see that your feet are set up in a closed stance. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet at address. And even so, we can see that we're set up out into the right rough. So we're going to see some form of compensation in your golf swing where we're trying to get the ball back to the center of the fairway over here. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Brandt Snedeker. We've got some color-coded lines on the screen just as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. And before we take a look at the dynamic motion, let's just get a sense of that posture that I was sort of illustrating, how there's increased angle between the arms and the club. There's more angle to the spine, and we're into our golf shot a little bit better. Also take a look at the alignment. We can see his feet are running more parallel to his club face as opposed to your feet running out to the right. Now as we initiate the takeaway, simply want to rotate the shoulders, draw the arms and hands back as well as the golf club, and we want to see the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. From here you want to establish some wrist hinge into play, working the club head from below to above the hands, and then at this point in time working the club from red up to yellow. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we've got the left arm of the club on the yellow line. We've got full shoulder rotation, and we do this about a very stable right leg, keeping the weight on the instep of the right foot. With you, as we initiate your takeaway, good strong shoulder rotation, bring your arms and hands back. Club's coming back on a really nice swing plane. Looks like you're a little stiff-wristed with the golf club. We're not really creating any leverage at all, meaning the wrist hinge. So as we continue to move the golf club back here, you get a little bit more wrist hinge into play there, so that's great. Still a little bit stiff-wristed with the golf club, but by the time you get to the top of your backswing, I like where you are. You've got good shoulder rotation. You do that about a stable right side. You maintain the spinal axis that you had at address, even though we would like more angle to begin with, but at least we didn't stand up out of the shot. Your arms are in good triangular position relative to your core. And your club's in great position relative to your arms. So really nice position at the top of the backswing. As we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind our core and fire our hands. And doing so, we want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from yellow back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here with Brandt Snedeker. The golf club has returned right back to being on plane. The other thing we want to point out is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. Refer to this as the backwards check mark. It simply means that the club head right now is remaining above and behind our hands, and therefore we're retaining angle, which is going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone getting the club to return back to plane, as we've already pointed out, which is also going to allow us to hit the ball straight in accordance to our alignment. So with you, as you create your transition back into the golf ball, unfortunately you got an over-the-top move. Your hands come down yellow, out towards blue, and that's going to have a huge impact on the club head. So we're going to watch the club head continue to move out in front of you, and that's referred to as an over-the-top move, and therefore the club is going to be coming into the ball too steep, and therefore it's going to influence the swing path from an out to in. With Snedeker here, we can see that his club comes into the ball directly from the red line, from on plane. And as previous mentioned, this is what's going to allow us to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. So at this point in time, we can take a look at the path of the club. We can see Snedeker's club is inside the ball. It expands out, makes contact, moves through on a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is stuck outside the ball, drops down and across, actually drives down into the ground with the leading edge, so we'll have to talk about that in a second. But just with the path itself, we can see that the golf club is moving from out to in. If the club face squares up to that path, we'll be able to pull the ball out in this direction. And if we recall from what I had stated originally from your setup, we were in a closed stance. You're set up to hit the golf ball out to the right. Center of the fairway is back over here. So your compensation is over the top. Swing the club from out to in along the yellow path, and hopefully we can pull the ball down the red arrow towards yellow. Now, if we happen to over-release the club, the ball will be pulled towards yellow, but then we'll have some right to left spin, and we'll hit some form of a pull draw or pull hook. If we under-release the club, the ball maybe won't start as far left, has left to right spin, and we'll hit what is referred to as a pull slice. If the timing is perfect, then we'll be able to pull the ball right down the red arrow and then keep the ball at yellow with maybe a minor fade or perhaps just a minor draw. Okay? So as we're swinging that golf club back and we come over the top, swing that golf club from an out to in path. Again, if we square the club face up, it's going to follow the red arrows, and if we leave the club face open, it'll follow blue, and if we time it perfectly, it'll follow yellow. In this particular swing, looks like the club face squared up. It's actually going left of the initial red arrow I have on the screen, so it's very likely it's going to be staying left there. As you come through to a pretty decent finishing position up on the toe of your right foot, carrying yourself through to a finish, and that's good. With your driver, what we want to understand is that, or actually, is this a driver? No, it's not. It's a fairway wood. So basically what we want to do with woods is we want to sweep them off the ground. So you don't want your leading edge coming down and digging down and trapping. That's what we want to do with irons, but we don't want to do that with woods. So you may want to tee that ball up just a little bit and learn how to try and sweep the ball. You don't want to hit down and take divots with your woods. Okay? Anyways, at any point in time, if you're interested in working on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville, and all my contact information is at the end of this swing analysis. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all or sit on the committee for any events and you're looking to provide your guests with a unique service, certainly feel free to reach out. Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. And hope you have a great summer, and maybe we might hear from you. Take care.